Plants need a number of things to keep them alive. They need sunlight, warmth, air, water and a soil to supply them nutrients. Most plants get their moisture through their roots, and they supply the water that the plant needs and also the nutrients from the soil. If they have too much water or not enough water, the plant can end up wilted, waterlogged, and it's going to die. So there must be air that gets into the roots as well. We can test the amount of moisture in the soil by the finger test. Put it into the soil, pull it out, yes, that's enough moisture. But we have more accurate ways of doing it. We can use a moisture meter. You can see it has 3 markings: dry, moist and wet. We're aiming to keep the soil at a moist level. To use a moisture meter, you hold the probe, you make sure it's clean, and then you insert it into the soil. You can see that soil is dry. The depth you put it to is determined by the type of plant that you have. Plants that have deep roots, you would put your moisture meter in a lot further. Plants that are closer to the surface, you might only put in about 1 hand's width. In this soil, whether it be in a pot or out in the field, we can push our moisture meter in, and you can see that it's come up just on the edge of moist. You obviously put it near the root zone of the plant, so a bigger plant you would go deeper into the soil. A shallow rooted plant, you keep it near the top. You always handle it by the probe. Don't push down on the top because you can break the meter. Besides water, we need to know the temperature of the soil. If it's too cold, plants become dormant, and if it's too hot, they will wilt and die. We've got a mechanical probe that goes in, and you can measure the temperature. It's now measuring about 14 degrees. We have a standard thermometer, and these are better for pot plants. With our pH testing, we need to use demineralized water, distilled water, or rainwater. We can use a pH meter, which shows the difference between an acid soil and an alkaline soil. And that's a measure of the hydrogen ions in the environment. It's measured on a scale up to 10, can go higher, and the acid soils are less than 7 and the alkaline are greater than 7. To measure pH, we go to the area that we're going to plant our plants. We dig about 10 centimetres down. We remove any mulch off the top of the soil first. We then put that back into there, and we add some of the rainwater, and we make a mud pie. When we've got it thoroughly mixed, we use our probe and we push it into the soil. That's showing very, very slightly acidic, so that's an ideal soil for what we might be planting here. Another way of measuring the pH of a soil is using a pH kit that you can get from most hardware stores and nurseries. This uses a different method from a pH probe. Go down to the depth that we want. Now if you're doing a large area, you might take a number of samples and mix them all together. We then put about half a teaspoon on. We use the liquid, which is going to change colour. Then mixing. Have a look at this. We put our powder on. Powder just squeezes out, and we can see that that's got a colour change. We then look at that, the colour there, that's between 7 and 6.5, which is slightly acidic, and then we can use it to get the correct pH for our plants. Remember, you can find out what pH plants require by Googling it. So there we are, we've got pH, soil moisture and soil temperature, 3 vital things that are necessary for keeping your plants healthy.